All right, what's going on, guys? So, hey, welcome back to another. When I say welcome back, I mean welcome back to another edition of the Train with Who podcast, where we're just here kind of chopping it up, giving you guys a little bit of dose of what we go through and some of the mental states that we got going on here and how we handle some of the situations that we handle. We do it for you guys, right? We keep it free, we keep the content free. I don't believe in really killing you on some of the things that we could be doing up front and kind of giving you guys this information and getting it out of the way right now. So if you're ever lucky enough that you do sit down with us and we ever have that one-to-one conversation, we're having that higher level thought. We're not sitting here trying to get through the basics. So these videos are intended to get you guys the basics, something to get out of the way, get you guys to understand, hey, here's where I need to start thinking. Here's where my mindset is now. And here's where I need to ultimately end up. So a lot of times you guys hear me talk about where you're starting, where's your middle points, where your feedbacks. There's going to be a lot of like key words that people are throwing around out there. Just how about this? If we can just simplify it and dumb it down just to the end user, right? To the lowest common denominator. We call them LCDs, not a good term, but hey, not all of us are super genius, right? My wife, super genius. Me, not so much. I just know how to make the basic. I know how to make the basic really simple. I know how to get it down and put it to you in a way that you can understand it and that nobody else is kind of complicating the situation. So if we were to start with something, I would say, hey, the biggest thing you always hear me talk about is find your vision. It's like a pair of glasses. My son, when he was, I want to say about two, maybe 3 years old, I noticed he kept creeping up on that television. TV was on, and he'd walk right up on it. And we had a decent sized TV too. We didn't have any small by any means television, but we had kind of decent. I don't want to put a brag out there, but we definitely had a TV that he would be able to see if he was sitting on the couch and how far he was from the TV. So what ended up happening was I saw on YouTube there was this eye test video, and I said, you know what? Let me pop that on. So I pop on the eye test video. I have him sit on the couch, and I tell him to read the letters. And you know how the letters start off. They're usually like a big X. Then the next row is like a YZ. Row after that, it's like a WX. Some random numbers, but it gets smaller, progressively smaller as it goes on. And what I noticed is on the second row, and what I'm telling you is like a big X for the first row, and like the Y and the Z were a decent size. My man had no idea what it was he was looking at, and he was just what they used to call blurred interpretation. And he was just rambling out some letters, and those letters had nothing to do with what was on that screen. So why do I tell you this story? I tell you the story to say when we took him to the eye doctor, they got him some glasses. He went from a child that was kind of like not paying attention and always just squirming to a child that now can focus and now can see. He established that vision, right? We were able to get him glasses, and in a literal sense, he was able to put his vision together and see what it is that he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, and what it was that he was kind of focused on. We had a question before, and the question was if you had to lose one of your senses, sense of sight, sense of hearing, taste, touch. I think there's only five senses, right? So smell, taste, touch, hearing, and sight, right? So if you had to if you could only have one of your senses, I think the question was, if you could only have one of your senses, what would that sense be? Some people go out and they say, hey, touch. I got to be able to feel things. You know, if I can't see, at least I can feel my way around. Um, Other people say, well, they want sight. They don't need to know what soft feels like, what hard feels like, what they don't need to hear certain things. Other people said, look, I need to be able to taste, right? Like food is important to me, and that's something I can't do without. So what you start to learn in those whole things is everybody values things a little bit different. But what I also understood was everybody was trying to identify their environment and where they were going by their senses. And even though vision, right, the literal sense of the vision to see with your eyes is a sense. The reality is all of them kind of pointed the person in the direction that they wanted to go. They were motivated internally, and one of those senses helped them get and establish kind of the destination where they wanted to be. So I say this with the story with my son, the story with the senses, to say, establish your vision. You have all your senses. You're fully capable of getting the job done. So now it's time to get the job done. Utilize your senses, establish the vision, and continue watching these videos, and we'll just build upon each one. Like I said, we do this for you, not because I'm out here trying to make a name for myself, but the one thing that scared me was when somebody told me that all the graveyards have people that are buried in there with all good ideas that they weren't able to get out. So I said, okay, I'm going to commit to writing, journaling, podcasting, video casting, and we're going to get out as much information as we can. We have a few good years behind us. We have a few good years ahead of us. So let's make the best of them. And until next time, put that war paint on and remember, Hoop loves you.